Hello and welcome to another episode of Neonz React. Today we'll be reacting to the manga that taught me how to live by Onimaru. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video.
I was introduced to GTO thanks to the owner at the local comic book shop insisting I check it out and then lending me the first DVD box set of the anime. When I initially heard the title, for some reason I thought it was going to be about cars or street racing, which I had no interest in whatsoever, so my expectations going in
I kind of thought like that because I didn't know at first. I didn't know that GTO was great teacher Onusaka.
But I was surprised to find out it was about a teacher, and not just any teacher, but someone like this.
Oh. Yes. Oh my god, I love this guy.
From the opening visuals with the way he struts out of the bathroom, you can tell this guy is a little bit out there and he just lays
Yeah, he just swag and he doesn't give a shit about what you think.
it all bare, literally. But to a young me, he just embodied this sense of coolness and freedom. His cocky smirk at the camera matched with the upbeat tempo of the music, along with the striking black and white tones, made it feel like this is the type of guy that lives life the way he wants it without letting anyone censor him, and most importantly, he always makes sure to enjoy it. This opening spoke to me on so many levels about this guy's character, and I hadn't even watched the anime yet. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Anime? I think you mistitled your video, buddy. Well, unfortunately, the GTO anime ended up being my first lesson in the disappointments of anime adaptations.
Oh yeah, I watched the anime. Maybe that's why I stopped watching the anime.
After having to go buy the second box set for myself, because I was dying to know what happened next, I found out by its rushed ending that it didn't cover the complete story, so I had no other choice but to turn to the manga. Determined to never be burned again by an incomplete story, I made damn sure to grab all of my Christmas money, head to the comic book shop, and order all 25 volumes.
Wow, he ordered the whole thing.
That,
damn, that's a lot.
Because while entertaining, it's not the anime that managed to stay burned in my mind. It's the manga that really allowed me to soak in great teacher Onizuka's lessons. If anything, the anime is the watered down version. The manga is much more perverted, way more extreme, and completely unabashed. And I actually find it to be better this way, because it's this level of rawness that really allows the main character Onizuka to shine here, more so than in any of his other incarnations. Because
the live action was very bad. The live action was really bad.
Really, the manga has no qualms about showing you the type of guy Onizuka is. As a person, he's rude, he's crass, unprofessional, primitive, extremely perverted, embarrassing, and utterly shameless. Man, that's a lot of negatives. Which is what you'd expect of a former gang member. He's also not really a great teacher when it comes to actual school subjects like English, philosophy,
but I'm pretty sure he's very good at giving student life lessons,
etc. Because let's face it, he doesn't really use his brain. He's pretty much a slave to his instincts. This really emphasizes how much of a leap it is for him to try and become a great teacher. However, when it comes right down to it, in the moments that really matter, Onizuka always pulls through. Yes, he's a simple man who just wants to make it big and get laid, but he can't help getting involved with his students when they need help. And not just the good students, I'm talking about the ones that really don't deserve it. And that's pretty much the majority of them, since he gets tasked with the mission to reform the most notorious class in the entire school. Seriously, these kids are pretty much masterminds at psychological warfare, and with their deep resentment of adults, they're out to get any new homeroom teacher that tries to tame them. However, none of this matters to Onizuka. He's always been labeled a problem child himself. He doesn't fit into society's neat little box.
Yeah, he's one as a problem child, so he kind of understand their perspective and some sort
of expectations. Onizuka's biggest strength is that he has guts. The guts to go where other teachers won't to help his students. He might seem like a bad guy on the outside, but he can't help listening to his heart. It's his heart that moves him to action in order to save his students, whether it be saving them from other people or from themselves. And it's these moments that end up defining him as a teacher. He's able to tear down.
Wow, as I watch and the more he explained about it, the more it kind of bring me back some of the memory. Now I just realized it's actually pretty good, and whoa.
On the walls between people's hearts by just being so genuine. For example, after he's won some of the class over, his classes really just involve him pulling crazy antics and goofing off the students, like launching water-propelled grenades from the classroom window, all under the label of social studies. This doesn't
yes, all under the label social experiment or social study.
really help his case for being more of a qualified teacher in the proper sense of what a teacher should be, but he's able to reach the students more than anyone else can. They gravitate towards him because he doesn't pretend to be something he's not. He wears it all out in the open. Not only is he himself around them, but he also doesn't treat them any differently than he would a close friend. And this this is what allows them to put their guard down and be themselves around him. It gets them to really care about him and accept him, no matter how much of a disgusting pervert or irresponsible adult he is. To them, he's just Onizuka, and beyond that, there's just never a dull moment around him, which comes down to his philosophy as a teacher. Because, you see, what Onizuka excels at is teaching you how to approach life. To him, school should be an adventure. Learning should be like a playground.
I mean, if I actually have a teacher like Onizuka in my school, then maybe I wouldn't have dropped out. But that is maybe a stretch in some way.
And every day should be spent enjoying yourself in the present rather than letting the past and people's labels of you define you. Sure, these are just ideals, simple ones at that, but Onizuka sells them because he embodies what it means to be real. He's a man of his word. When he says something, he does it. Deep down, Onizuka understands the importance of cherishing your youth and being a person you can be proud of. It's these principles that guide him and allow him to take so many hits. And he gets hit a lot.
Yeah,
he
gets
you start to wonder how he's such an inspiration, or even the main character. I mean, people constantly berate him and make a fool out of him.
I mean, it's not your typical main character or protagonist like in the shonen aspect, but it's also in a unique way where you just can't help but root for Onizuka.
And he often does look pathetic, but strangely enough, he still manages to look like a hero. I would say it's due to what's in his heart, but it's not just that. It's not just about feelings, it's about action. He'll go to any length to help his students, and it's this tenacity that makes you want to believe in him, in his words. And let me just emphasize that everything he does borders on insanity, but it's always to answer the call of those who need help. To be
my guy just swing from a miles away into a building. That is some Mission Impossible stuff. Wow. Woo.
Be a friend to the friendless, to give a voice to the voiceless, kind of like a superhero that recklessly endangers minors and almost gets them killed just to get them to learn a lesson. Okay, never
Amazing.
mind, demon. My point is that with superheroes, they're inspiring, but they tend to feel like an unattainable
My Hero
ideal.
Academia?
With Onizuka,
Okay.
he's clearly a clown, but also a man of great devotion that'll take a bullet for his students just to save them. This dichotomy is what I love about him. Growing up, I always loved to goof around, and my overactive imagination often got me into plenty of trouble, even though all I was really trying to do was make friends. It got to the point where I became extremely cautious of how I should interact with other kids my age.
Yeah,
of
me
being
too.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
So eventually, I began to mellow out. Or at least, that's how the grown-ups saw it. They
Sure,
considered it a
awkward.
blessing. But I had actually lost all concept of how I was supposed to be. The wants became shoulds. Should I be like this or like that? What I
This hit me home so hard. I was also kind of like that too.
What? No, that's not important. Why would I trust the me that's prone to failure? This is probably why anime resonated with me so much at that age. It gave me an escape that I craved, other worlds where I could go get lost in other people's lives, where I could live vicariously through them and genuinely feel what they felt, letting their happiness and victories replace my own lack of them. But GTO felt different. Somehow the fact that it was based in the real world with real problems kids my age had to deal with.
Oh yes, in high school, teenager have to kind of deal with some weirdest problem. Like they shouldn't really have to deal with it, but oh my god.
Never let me fully escape into the fantasy. So while I was being reminded of my unpleasant reality, there was a protagonist there that made it seem not so bad. He actually made it seem fun as he confidently strolled through life, facing whatever came his way with just the strength of his beliefs. Onizuka didn't just feel like a character, he felt like a friend that made me excited to turn to the next page to find out what mischief he was up to next or what lesson he had in store. Up until that point, all I had was a past that weighed me down and made me feel like I could never really be anything more. Naturally, this made me uncertain of my future and where I would land. The world just seemed so big and unknown, but GTO gave it form by making me feel like my destiny really wasn't defined by factors out of my control, but rather by how I responded to it. To see that he could just be this hilarious dumbass that likes to have
Wow, look at this move. Woo.
fun while also still being a person that people could look up to made me feel like maybe it might just be okay to be myself. And even if it did make me unlikable to some people, it would also lead me to the true friends that would stand by my side.
There's always people in your life that can resonate with you and understand you as a person. You don't need like a whole classroom of people. You only need like one or two friends that can really understand you.
And accept me. And I think the greatest lesson that GTO taught me is that in life, whatever happens, happens. All that matters is that you give it your all to do what you believe is right, to stand by the people that matter, no matter what awaits on the other side, so that you may continue on with no regrets. That's where true freedom lies.
Wow.
It's funny, I'm much older now than Onizuka, but rereading the manga, I realized that I had never really forgotten his lessons. Even though I had completely forgotten where I'd learned them from, those beliefs remain deeply ingrained in my mind.
Damn.
They left such a deep impression that it's made me think that when an author writes a story, whether intentionally or not, he writes it with you and I in mind, letting us know that these lessons are also what inspire him. When we think we're just alone and all we have is anime or manga to keep us company, we're really not. Underneath that
Hey, don't forget about games too.
anime, on the other side of that drawing are the author's thoughts, hopes, and beliefs. He's put himself into
Ideas.
it in order to communicate with us. Many times I've thought of anime and manga as an escape that we tend to overindulge in, but lately I've been thinking it's more than just an escape. It's a means of giving life to those precious feelings we can't quite understand yet, or we don't know how to express. The parts of ourselves that remain locked away by our own insecurities or hesitations. Being exposed to other people's thoughts and journeys allows us to find out more about ourselves. Their journeys, whether fictional or real, help give us an idea of how to shape ours. But what makes this form of communication so irreplaceable are the words. Words that are able to resonate with you beyond the passing of time.
Wow, as I've watched this video, now I understand why I stopped watching the anime, because like the anime for some reason doesn't hit me off. But now as I watch this video, I'm thinking I'm gonna pick up the manga instead of just watching the anime again. So yeah, comment down below what you guys think. Did you actually enjoy watching the anime of GTO, or do you actually agree with him that the anime didn't do enough justice for the manga? Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's been your boy Neonz. Goodbye.